Here are 3 signs that you grew up with a manipulative parent. Let go! Number 1, they tricked you into doing things and then told you the real reason at the end. For example, when I came out of university, I had maybe £1,200 in the bank. Then my mother said to me she wanted this new sofa, which was £1,080. And she said, if you buy it for me, I will pay you back every month. I've done that for a few reasons. Number 1, I was living with my mother and I felt like I had to. Number 2, if I had £1,000 in the bank, I would have just blown it. So at least my mother would be giving me something every month. So I paid for the sofa, we went home, and before I even closed the front door, she said, I tell you what, instead of me paying you back every month, why didn't you just not pay rent for the first couple of months? I was like, oh, you never said anything about rent. And she was like, well, you can't live here for free. Which leads me into the second sign that you have a manipulative parent, is they control your money. I spoke about this recently, but when you had your first job, how much of that did you get to keep and how much did you have to give to your parents? So many people in my comments talk about this, and they will either say their parents made them pay more rent when they started earning, or they had to start paying for their own food and clothes. It's like our parents want us to have a worse start than they did because they can't see us do better than them. And number 3, the guilt. That was really Welshy. The guilt. They play the victim and make you feel guilty when there's nothing to be guilty about. This also links into number 2, when they control your finances, because if your parents were struggling for money and you bought yourself something, they would say, don't you feel bad that you're spending money on yourself when we can't afford this? This also sticks with you into adulthood. When I moved to university, just before, my mother bought me a dog, so I'd have to come home. I recently spoke to someone from, I think America, who moved to England for education for 3 years. And as they were leaving, and literally on the doorstep, this person's father said to them, you know you'll never see your grandmother ever again. Trying to make her guilty for leaving, her grandmother ended up living to 105. So many manipulative parents will make you feel guilty for doing something good for yourself, because they treat you as an extension of the family and not your own person with your own life.